Hey, Madera Company, thank you guys so much for joining us. I've got Shawn Massie with me today, and he is the CTO, CIO for all of the Madera Companies. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Josh Haynes, and I am the Director of Community Impact for the Madera Companies. And as you already know, we're going to kind of walk you through Jostle. We're going to kind of do a kind of top 10 things that you need to know about all of the different features that kind of come with it. One of the things that's kind of come to us is this question of like, why are we making the move from one login and kind of joining the Jostle group? We still use Google Workspaces, and Shawn can speak to that at length. And it's one of those things where all of your apps, you'll still have access to all of those types of things. When Shawn jumps into the Workspaces here in just a bit, he can kind of talk you through that and how you get those things authenticated and kind of work through that. But we'll still have access to all of those types of things. We're still using Google for most of our companies. We've got a couple of companies that use Microsoft 365, but there'll be access for them to use those things as well. Jostle just provides us an opportunity to be more connected, to do a little more culture building across departments, across locations, and then especially, again, across the companies. And that's really a big part of what we're trying to accomplish is while having 5 companies across all of those different spectrums, we would like to build a culture that is centered upon the same values and centered upon the same shared mission of doing things the right way. You'll hear that from folks like Dave Marcinkowski a lot. You know, do the right thing for the right reasons and for people, and things will be successful. And so, I want to turn it over to Shawn. We're going to jump into accepting the invitation and those types of things. And so, Shawn, we're going to share the screen now and just kind of start to walk through some different stuff with you guys.
We'll start with the initial invitation that you will receive from Jostle. Everything is pulled in directly from Google. So we are pulling in your Google account and all the details that are tied within that. If you are not a Google account user, so you're one of the select title users, you will not be using the Google login. You'll use your select title login. So if your invitation email says please use your Google login right here, but you are not a Google user, go ahead and notify us and let us know. We'll make sure we send you a corrected invite. If you are a Google user, so you're using a MaderaResidential.com or RockwoodMultifamily.com or OneQuex.com email, this is the invitation you will receive. And when you click login now, you'll just put in your email address. It will recognize you have a Google session, and then it will take you into Jostle. So this will be your initial acceptance invitation and sign in.
Yep. I want to take you to kind of back to the very beginning here, to the very beginning of the Madera Companies Jostle page, and hopefully the internet's not too crazy slow for us today. Here in Lubbock, it is blowing 50 miles an hour outside, and things are running a little slow. But I do want to make certain you understand how to choose your language. That's one of the reasons we also went with Jostle. So if you will come down to your spot right here, we're using Jacob's login. Jacob Ewing is our creative media guy. And so you'll click on these 3 dots right here. You click My Preferences, and it'll take you the very first thing, and the very first option you've got is to move into whichever language you want to use. One of the things that's important for you to know about this is what it will change into Spanish for those of us who have Spanish as our very first language. Jostle will move its language into Spanish for us, but the created content that we do here at Madera, it will not be immediately translated into Spanish. We are trying to grow in that area so that we can be more diverse and more inclusive of our Spanish-speaking friends. And so we're trying to create as much Spanish content as we can and even move some things over into more Spanish-speaking options for folks. But Jostle itself will then be moved into Spanish for those who want to use it that way. Another thing, and I just want to show you this here at the bottom, if you continue to scroll down on this preferences page, you can kind of come into this area and manage your notifications. One of the things that we wanted to do for you is we wanted to limit the amount of emails that you were getting so that you got notifications really in Jostle, but you weren't just being flooded with emails. And so you can come into this area right here where you talk about news, discussions, and you'll see email all the way down. And these are the things that Jacob has chosen for him to get emails about. The rest of it, he's decided he doesn't want an email for it. He'll just see it in Jostle when it pops up. And so I just wanted you to get a chance to see that. Shawn, I mean, one of the biggest things we want to talk about is just how we do our job. So why don't you kind of walk us through the workspaces and how we get through that?
So Workspaces should really be a synonym for one login. So over here on the left-hand navigation, if we click on Workspaces, you won't see all of these options. Jacob sees a few more. So you'll select your company from this list. So if it was a Madera residential employee, they would select Madera. And again, some of these features are going to be different for our Select Title and Viva users. But for a Madera residential user, if I click Madera Residential, I'm going to get the Google dashboard. This is going to take me to my Google dashboard. This functions very similar to OneLogin. So what it's going to do is going to password vault all of your passwords and usernames for the various applications. And you'll see quite a few listed on this page. If you see one or you cannot find one, you can always let us know. We'll get that added right away. If I use this top search box, it will filter this page down very quickly. But you'll notice there is a Jostle one. Here we have TruePay, the Madera store. Notice too that they're not using images. It's just using text. So that is a limitation of Google dashboards. But when I click on one, so I'm going to go ahead and click on TruePay. When I click on it, the very first thing it's going to prompt me with is you need to add this extension. Adding this extension, it's not going to let me do it through the current session. Once you add this extension, then it will work just like OneLogin does. The added benefit of this, other than being a little bit more secure than OneLogin, if I go directly to truepay.com and I try to log in without coming to this page first, it will still pull in my credentials and it will help direct me to log into that page. So there are some added benefits that go with it, as well as additional security. All of those pieces should have been pre-populated with your user credentials from OneLogin. So if you had a username and password associated to TruePay, it should have been pulled across. If it's missing credentials, you'll see it says add credentials. I can click on that, or I can hit the three dots on any of the applications and I can look at the account settings for that. I can look at my login, my password, I can see my password. I can make all those changes. So if you're seeing credentials missing, if you'll let us know, we can mine those from OneLogin and run a script to get them in. If you're missing an application, if you'll let us know, we'll get that added right away. What we did on the applications is we pulled all applications over the last 12 months. So anything that was used outside of that period that we are deeming decommissioned or not being used anymore, we did not pull that in. So it is possible you'll be missing some things. If you'll let us know, we'll get those added very quickly. In addition to what we have on this page, if you look in the top right, I can see my account settings. And some of you have gone into Google and you've added photos and you've added some contact information and you've added some of that additional stuff. That information we have directly tied back to Jostle. So in Jostle, if you were to go pull your profile, everything from your profile from Google will pull across to Jostle, and that happens on a 24-hour cadence. So if you've updated your photo in Google, it will come across to Jostle in about 24 hours. And here you can see Jacob's information. We pre-populate location, join date is their hire date. He's gone in and typed in some bio and some of those things. So there is some separation between Google and Jostle. Jostle takes it just one step further than the contact information in Google.
Yeah, there's a few other things, and we're going to take you through this. I want to show you the library piece real quick, and this is a big one. And you'll go in here and you'll click library, and then you'll go to browse, and we will continue to update these types of things. But here's a few HR stuff that we just want you to see. You can go in here and you can see that we've got a couple of things populated for you that we know are important with policies and procedures, and that's just the associate manual. You've got other things with the benefits there to kind of talk about our health benefits and all those types of things. And you can go in here and you can click on this. and it will show you at least a few of the things that are going on here. And so you just click those up, the PDF will pop up, and you can begin to learn about some of that. One of the things that's important, and y'all know, or at least many of you know, that I work in HR, and so this is a big one for us when it comes to onboarding. I want to show you the tasks area right here, and it's loading a little bit. There we go. One of the things that's really cool, and this will be how we do our onboarding features. It'll be how we do open enrollment if you want to make payroll changes, when we do annual performance reviews and different things like that in the future. Some of our different administrators, especially coming out of HR, are going to give you guys some tasks to do. And what will end up happening is you'll click on your task. You'll have a red dot that shows you next to tasks that, hey, you've got some tasks that I need to finish or I need to accomplish. You'll come in here and you'll click on task, and you'll begin to see here are all the different tasks will pop up. Here are the ones that are incompleted, things I haven't read clearly. Here's the ones that I've already finished. These things will be archived when they're moved away. And so the other thing that kind of comes with this, and I've talked about the HR piece, but for those of you who are managers, for those of you who are department leaders, for those of you who are company leaders, one of the things that you can do, and I find this really, really interesting, is you can assign tasks to your team. And kind of show them this. And then what you can put on it, and I'm not going to walk you through this necessarily, but a confirmation piece will be put on it. And that's how you'll begin to show whether it's HR or whether it's a department leader giving you a job. You'll be able to show, I've seen what you've asked me to do, I've confirmed that I've done it, and now we can archive that. And that'll be a way in which we kind of walk through our tasks. Speaking of departments, teams, and kind of how we work together, Shawn, why don't you show us that function?
Yeah, Teams is one of my favorite pieces, and really it's here to help us with that overall communication of who am I talking to, where do they work, who do they work with, who do they report to. If you get stuck with a question and you can't catch the employee you need, knowing who to escalate that to is a very important piece to help us work more efficiently. So if I come into Teams, I can click on the department head within a section, and then up in the top right, just to make it a little bit easier to look at, I can hit the extended function. And it gives me a pretty good looking org chart for that area. So here we're looking at HR. I can see, hey, here's Jacob, and he's reporting up to Josh, and that goes all the way up to Rodney Cates. All of the different sections, they're not going to exist for everyone yet. And the primary reason for that is that information is just not populated yet. So as we build the Viva First org charts and we build the Select Title org charts, those bits and pieces will be in there. So you're not going to see Rockwood Multifamily or all of the Madera properties yet, but the goal is to get all those pieces in there so that everybody can see not only how big the organizations are, but also where everybody lies within those organizations. And one of the pieces that are really helpful on here, which will go into the next piece that Josh covers, is open positions can be listed within these org charts as well. So as we have job postings, you'll be able to see where that is structured within the org chart. But how do you find those jobs and where do you go apply for those jobs is really in the jobs postings that Josh will talk about.
Yeah, and if you'll go over here, you'll see this link with job postings. You'll jump in here. We'll click on that. We'll open it up, and this right here will give you that. We'll give you the job postings. What you'll see is this was updated on February 21st. That is when it actually hit Jostle. But this link here, and I think this is an important piece for you to see, is if you double click on that, it will take you to a current, right now, upstanding opportunities, all the opportunities for you guys to be able to apply for various jobs. It'll go. This is constantly being updated on the back side. So even though if you look here at the job postings piece and it still says, okay, well, we created this on February 21st, 2022, this is today's up-to-date everything that we've been able to put in from our HR department, and so that will always be there. So we just want you to be able to see that. And then, like I said, one of the cool things about this, going back to what Shawn had just mentioned, is that when we're able to get all of these teams kind of created, and you can see the organizational charts, you'll be able to see the open positions, who they report to, who you would be working with, and those types of features. That is some of the bigger stuff, but Shawn, why don't you take us back to the landing page here and kind of give us a little bit of a...
Yeah, so the landing page is it's a tough term, but every time we talk about adding a new application, it gets tough to just keep track of all those things, and you end up with trying to set new home pages, or I have multiple tabs, and keeping all that straight becomes difficult over time. So what we will be doing as we reach the end of this month, what we're working with all the organizations, different IT teams, and we'll be pushing an updated homepage for all Chrome browsers. So Chrome is our primary browser. It will set Jostle as the default homepage. So if you have more than one, you can definitely set that up, and you can have multiple tabs, but your primary tab will be Jostle. That way it's easy to find and easy to get to. And Jostle that's one of those central hubs that will allow you to get to your dashboard through Workspaces, look at your job postings, look at different teams, do tasks, get to all of your HR paperwork.
Yeah, and I want to just kind of highlight especially some of the content that we've got on here, because we are talking about kind of the building of relationships across the different companies, the building of all the different things, of the culture that we want. You'll be able to click on any of these things. The newest stuff will populate first, and so you'll see the newest things that have been added as we begin to move across. This section is going to be all about all companies news will be a big part of this. We're creating the Madera Way Award, in which we're going to give away $100 gift cards to people who are doing an outstanding job, and so you can nominate your fellow employees. And so we want to do those types of things, and it doesn't matter what company they work for. You can download the Jostle app, you can see that, but then you also have other videos, right? We've got some great work going on in Select Title. You'll see some of the personal growth stuff. Remember, we did the 401k stuff last year, and it's one of those things where we want you to continue to take advantage of things like that. We continue to do our podcasts, and we're talking through emotional intelligence. You can go to all of these types of things. You can look at them, you can like them, you can comment on them, and so I think that's a big part of this. Another piece that I want to show you, and this is this live feed area right here. Many of you know that we have been building out an opportunity to highlight people's birthdays and work anniversaries and just kind of do an overall newsletter. The monthly newsletter is going to be replaced by this live feed area right in here. So every single day, for every day and that a person has a work anniversary or a birthday, it's going to populate automatically in here and give us a chance to like and communicate and encourage each other and thank each other for what we're doing. For those of you who are, whether you're here at corporate or whether you are out in the field, you can give shout outs to any of the people that you want to give a shout out to. And so you'll just come up here and you'll click on this and you'll say, I want to do a shout out, and you'll type in the person that you want to give a shout out for. And so I know that we've had, we had one of our area managers last week, Melissa Fuller, who has passed certifications. And so her boss, Casey Kuhn, the VP of Ops and DFW, got to come in here and tell us this is what Melissa did, and we can come in and we can like it and encourage Melissa for all of her great work. This will be a great place for us to go in and continue to encourage each other. I also want to just remind you, you'll see this up here in the banner section, right? This is the ERISA stuff that just kind of came out, and you can read through that. But one of the things I want you to see are these tutorials right here. They're in English and Spanish, thanks to Jacob and then Maricela. And we'd love for you to go in here and continue learning about it. You will see opportunities for you to learn more about how to do this and what it looks like to walk through this. We're trying to figure out how best to use this to kind of help grow our culture within our company, and then at the same time make certain that you guys have all of the work apps that you need. One of the things that's going to happen along the way is you're going to have questions, and to be honest with you, we're going to have some questions, and we're doing our best to learn as quickly as we can to answer those for you. But if you do need help, clearly right down here in this area is the help button. You can click on that. You can get help. From the Madera Companies up here. Logan Allen is one of our IT guys here at corporate, and he does a great job of helping us. And so you can email him, you can text him, and you just push get help, and it's going to take you to sending an email directly to Logan. That's where that will end up taking you. And so you can ask for that. If for some reason you need to contact Jostle, you can do that as well. This is kind of our top 10 things we really kind of wanted you to know about and wanted you to learn about. And so one of the things that we want you to do is if you do have questions, please reach out to us. If we can help you, we want to help you. Shawn is CTO, CIO, and so I'm going to rely upon Shawn to answer a lot of the technology questions.
I'm going to rely on Logan.
Yeah, and Logan will help us with a lot of that as well. If when it comes to kind of talking through how to build culture with this, how to communicate with your teams, I mean, please reach out to me. I want to help you guys with that as much as you can. We're trying to make your life a little more simple while also adding an opportunity for us to build, like I said, the culture that we talk about, Christ, community, and constant and never-ending improvement. And so thank you guys for joining us. We're going to ask that in order to ask questions and different things like that, shoot us the email. That way we can go ahead and cut this, kind of keep this time sensitive and then let you get back to work. And then as you need us, let us know. The one date that we need to make certain you know about, and this is a big one, is that one login is going away on March 31st. Yep. And so from March 31st on, Jostle and using these workspaces and the Google dashboard is going to be how we communicate with one another and how we get into our apps for our jobs. Shawn, any last things you want to share?
No, I would just re-stress that and just make sure that you get into one login and compare it to your Google dashboard sometime between now and next Thursday morning. So next Thursday morning, it will be turned off.
Yeah.
And we will have that data to go back and reference it if we're missing something. So if you find yourself Thursday afternoon, you're missing an app or you don't remember a login and password, just let us know. We'll be able to go and get that information. But hopefully by that next Monday, we're all the way off and we're not even pulling in old information. So it's very, very important that sometime between now and next Thursday morning, you go and make that connection, make sure everything is there. We'll make sure everything's tied up for you.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This thing has been recorded and we'll send it out so that everybody can get a chance to see it. Please take advantage of those tutorials and let us know if you need anything. Thank you guys for being a part of this.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.